This car drives itself. This car reaches 100 kilometers per hour in less than 2 seconds. This car runs on electricity generated by the solar panels. This car lets you switch off home lights from miles away. And then there's this car and this car and this one. They do none of that and lack almost every feature found in modern cars, and yet ask any car guy, these are just better. It's not nostalgia speaking. If you ask anyone who actually enjoys driving a car, not just use it to reach a certain destination, they'd tell you old cars are better. But why? Why are old cars better than the new ones, despite a good number of modern features? Well, there are several reasons, and a few are really terrifying. Now, don't get me wrong, most people today say they prefer new cars, and why won't they? After all, big companies have long pushed the idea that the new is always better. Sure, new cars do offer many features that can make driving more comfortable and easier. Automatic transmission, power steering, keyless entry, reverse cameras, and one central screen from which you can access everything. And with every passing year, another novel feature becomes the norm and is added to every car. While this is added to convenience, allowing drivers to do multiple things at once, it has turned cars into computers rather than mechanical machinery. And let's be honest, computers are easier than machines. You need to control machines, whereas computers work themselves. But that convenience comes with a big catch. These same comfort features also made cars more expensive and harder to repair because everything is connected, so if one part malfunctions, it takes others down too. Sure, if you aren't that passionate about the classical driving experience, you might argue that automatic transmission and reverse cameras were worth it. But the problem is that car companies don't stop just at this. They keep adding new features that are making cars far more complex and expensive to maintain. And some of the features are totally useless, like these Tesla door handles that can get stuck in the winter. And it's not just that. There are other smart features that are actually just dumb, like the automated air ducts. If you need to change their direction, you won't have to reach them with your hand anymore. Here's a new approach. Back in the day, if your car battery ran out, you could still push start your car. Now you'll be stuck and will need jumper cables and roadside assistance. And the biggest scam of all is the central screen. It may be helpful for some features, but it's not always the most convenient option. Turning on the air conditioning and controlling the fan speed were much easier in old cars than in new ones. So why are automobile companies doing this? Yes, it is cheaper to put a screen with software once, but the maintenance cost would be much higher. Again, the real reason comes down to controlling you as a customer. In your old car, if anything in it showed an issue, you'd just get it fixed for $50 or maybe $100. Now you'll need to change your entire screen for $4,000, and that too at the authorized service center, because everything is connected to it. And until you get a new screen, you'll lose access to almost every feature available in your car. Now, some of you will say you can't judge it from a few examples, that overall technology made driving better. But here is one part where everyone would agree that old cars were much better. Look at some of the cars from the 1980s. You'd find they have character because the colors still existed. There's bright red, there's deep blue, there's pale green, there's pink, brown, orange. All of this is quite pleasing to the eye. But look at the traffic now. Almost every car is either black, white, or gray. It is dull, safe, and depressing. More than 80% of cars today are grayscale. The number was down to almost 60% in the early 2000s, and it would have been lower if we went further back. And it's not just the color. Old cars just had more character to them. Look at this Jaguar E-Type that looks like a long capsule from the side, or this triangular-shaped Davis Divan with 3 wheels, or the Volkswagen Beetle in which the engine is in the back of the car whereas the trunk is in the front. Just look at this Tucker Torpedo. Do you think the automobile companies can ever make it again? Contrast this with cars today. Tons of options, but almost all of them are the same. The luxury cars aren't that different in shape from a family car. From outside, it's the same silhouette, same swept headlamps, even the same sizes, only some minor differences in detailing. You might be wondering why? Why can't automobile companies make cars look different today? And if there aren't many creative people, why not just bring the old shapes back to life? So here's the sad part. Until the 1970s, there were fewer safety regulations and manufacturers could make their cars look however they wanted. That isn't the case anymore. The regulations have increased with time, forcing creativity to the back seat and eventually leaving no room at all. The cars became safer, but alike. And with that, the era of diversely shaped cars is gone forever. And now to an even bigger advantage of old cars over the new cars, the driving experience. Driving an old car feels like driving a car. Yes, simple as that. As we talked earlier, the new cars are more of a computer than a pure piece of machinery. If you've ever driven an old car, you'd know the difference. You're always involved. You don't just push the start button and get moving. You have to check everything in the car and wait for the temperature to rise before you start moving. You don't just push the accelerator or brakes to change the speed, you switch gears too. Once you push the pedal, the car doesn't just accelerate, you feel the mechanics behind it. You cannot listen to music while driving the way you do in a new car. Your car makes some noise and you listen to it. And it is not just the noise of the engine running. Before any part malfunctions, you hear it and you know what to get checked. And repairs? They weren't a stressful event. Simple mechanics meant simple roadside repairs. Almost everyone who owned a car then knew how to change oil or do other common repair work. Most old car owners still don't go to mechanics for small tasks even today because they know how to do basic car stuff themselves. And even when they need to go to a mechanic, they can get their job done at a lower cost. New modern cars are easier and more comfortable, but in the process, they stripped away something fundamental about what makes a drive worthwhile: your involvement. Modern driving feels sterile, controlled and detached, and ironically, that lack of input can make it more stressful in its own way. You're not really engaged, so you drift, you get bored, the drive turns dull. But driving an old car feels thrilling. You don't just drive your car, you understand your car, you feel connected to it. It's just you and your car, and no technology in between dictating what you can and cannot do. It's real freedom on the road. Given that old cars are more different from each other than new cars, every car gives you a different experience. The clutch bites at a different place, brakes don't just work, they make you work for it. Turning the steering requires force, some requiring more than others. Every car had its own fixes, which only you and your regular mechanic would know of. The point is, old cars weren't perfect, and the driving wasn't smooth, but that was exactly what made them so fun to drive. If it's too easy, it's not fun anymore. So, how did it feel when you first drove your favorite old car? Which one is your favorite car? And if you've never driven an old car, which one would you really like to get your hands on? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to stay tuned.